Hi, my name is James Hunter, and I want to talk to you about cheat meals. More specifically, I want to talk to you about whether or not cheat meals are considered to be representative of your individual needs or even considered to be appropriate at all. And the answer is either yes or no, because it really depends upon your individual needs and goals. What is your current body composition like? Are you someone who's exercised before, or are you just a beginner? A cheat meal is basically the idea that once a week, after sticking to your diet, you're going to eat anything you want for that one particular day. Sometimes it's viewed as a pleasure-driven kind of a goal or a reward to get you through the week. The first individuals I want to use as an example are people who tend to already be lean. For example, they may be at any given time, 5 to 8% body fat throughout the entire year, and sometimes even leaner than that if they're a competitive athlete. You have people who compete in bodybuilding, physique contests, you have CrossFit athletes, MMA fighters, and so on. You get the idea, very lean individuals. These types of people tend to have already demonstrated a pattern of having discipline and control over their nutrition and their dietary habits throughout the week. They tend to eat based on their needs. Their food is selected to meet the demands of their training. So they're very disciplined in this regard. So these types of individuals are in a position where they can afford once a week, if they choose to use that method, they can pretty much eat whatever they want. The pizza, the burgers, any number of comfort foods. You get the idea about what comfort foods are. So these types of individuals will not really be impacted in a negative way. Their body composition will not be harmed because they had a cheat day, if you will. So with them, they have the cheat meal, they get right back on track with their training 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes more than that. And so staying lean for them is not an issue. Now, the next category of individuals are people perhaps have been sedentary, or maybe they just have a low physical activity level. They may have a pattern or a history of not demonstrating any kind of adherence with nutrition in regards to eating healthy. They may eat out a lot, poor food choices, foods that are high in calories but offer very little nutrition. Some of these individuals may be considered to be overweight and obese. Body fat percent may be 35% and upwards. For these types of individuals, in the beginning of a program where they're going to start trying to make a lifestyle change, they want to work on their relationship with food, choosing better foods to help them reach their body composition goals. They don't want diabetes type 2, they're trying to lose weight. So they have different types of motivating factors perhaps, and then say someone who's much leaner and who's a competitive athlete. These types of individuals in the very beginning, in my opinion, the concept of a cheat meal, like a reward day once per week, can be counterproductive. And that's usually based on the psychology of individual people and the relationship with food. That cheat day can be counterproductive because it can be an inroad or a relapse, if you will, right back to the very behaviors of eating poor, unhealthy foods that contributed to them becoming obese and overweight and unhealthy. That cheat meal can end up into, well, I had a cheat day on Saturday and it's Sunday, you know what, let me just have a little more today. And before you know it, they're right back into that pattern of behavior again. So in my opinion, a better way of approaching it is a concept of, let's think about overall balance throughout the week. Let's focus on 7 days a week, staying within your estimated energy requirements or calories based on what your needs and goals are. Focus on the macronutrients and those ratios for fats, carbs, and proteins based on your individual needs. Focus on the food selection throughout the week, foods that are low in calorie but yet are very high in nutrients. Now, sometimes you may slip. You may sometimes not make the best food choice, and that could happen on any possible day. If that happens, you get back up, you keep moving forward, and you keep working on making those changes. It's a process over a period of time, but small changes add up to big changes over time, and that's what the focus should be. The focus should be changing your relationship with food, understanding that food is not just a pleasure-driven situation or a comfort situation, but it also needs to have a part of it to where it's about meeting the demands of your energy, your health needs, and also your health goals and fitness related type of situation. So food, really, your relationship with it and how you view it has a big impact on being able to reach any number of fitness goals, whether you're an athlete or someone who's just trying to generally improve health, fitness, wellness so they can live a better quality of life. So focusing on that balance throughout the week. Sometimes you slip, you just get back up, keep working on those changes. Now, an analogy that I like to use when it comes to how we manage food, and for those people trying to lose weight, how you approach that, if you want to think of a cheat day concept, or having those types of foods sometimes that you normally wouldn't when you're trying to lose weight. I like to talk about football. I played football from middle school all the way up to high school, and football is an analogy that can be applied to a lot of situations because of work ethic and concepts and things like that. And the first quarter, when we'd go play an opponent, back when I played football, the coaches always put in the first string players, the best quarterback, the best offensive line. You get the idea. The reason is because you're trying to achieve an objective. You're trying to win a football game. The opponent is going to do their best to beat you down. So you don't want to put in the second string quarterback or the third teamers. You put in the best players. Now, after 4 quarters, we're playing 4 hard quarters of football, and as was the case sometimes if we're winning by 4, maybe 5 touchdowns, we're way ahead of the game, and there's a minute and a half left on the clock. We pretty much had the game won. It's impossible that the other team was going to come back and score 5 touchdowns in 1 minute and a half and beat us, right? So the coaches, being the good guys that they were, guess what? They would let the second team or the third team players, hey, go ahead and you can get in the game and get some play time, because they typically didn't get to play a lot. So in that situation, it was appropriate because, hey, the game's won, right? Well, what does that have to do with food? Well, it's actually pretty similar if you think about it. In the beginning of your exercise program, you're starting to try to change the way you approach nutrition because you're trying to lose weight, trying to get things under control. Now is the time to bring your best game. You want to select the best possible food choices to help you reach your goals. Now, once you start losing weight, you're scoring some points, right? So if you've lost, say, depending on what your individual needs are, once you've lost 30, 40 pounds, some people it may be 60, 70 pounds, everybody's different. Whatever that number is, once you have lost a significant amount of weight, you have things under control, well, guess what? You're in a position to where if you wanted to go out and have a cheat meal, if you want a piece of pizza or a cheesecake, whatever it is, that one meal is not going to put 40, 50 pounds back on you. It's impossible. It will not happen. So in that situation, you're in a position to do that. The key is you have to be able to get there in order to start doing those types of things. Now, do you need to lose those types of numbers first, 40, 50 pounds, before you can maybe have some of those things sometimes? The answer is no. It depends on what your goal is and what you feel is going to help you stay on track. So let's say you've lost 15, 20, that's a personal choice. It's not a judgment issue. It's just practical advice in terms of how quickly you want to see yourself reach your goals. Now, keep in mind, I'm comparing people who are not athletes, who are overweight, who are trying to regain control over their health. They want to improve strength and conditioning, fitness, just for the sake of their quality of life. Also versus the first category of people who tend to already be very low body fat. They're athletes. You got different situations going on here. I've seen people who were the latter group who over time became the first group. They got really lean and they started competing in sports and what have you. So there really is not a wrong answer, yes or no. It's not like cheat meals, those types of things. You're an evil, bad person. Has nothing to do with that. It has to do with you and what's going to meet your needs. And so those are just some of my thoughts and opinions about how we approach cheat meals for people that already tend to be very lean during the year, low body fat, versus another situation, people that are obese, overweight, very high body fat percentage in those issues. And also you need to consider your relationship with food. What is your abilities there? Have you demonstrated any type of adherence and consistency? If you have, then yeah, you're someone who could probably do that. But if you struggled in the past, cheat meals in the beginning is what I'm stressing, is the beginning of anything. If you're really serious, if you start focusing on that reward cheat meal day, it can set you back. I've seen it happen. So what I teach my clients is balance. I don't focus on any particular day because it's really about a way of living your life, and that's what it's got to be about if you want long-term change. My name's James Hunter. I'm a personal trainer here in Corpus Christi. Feel free to leave your comments if you like. These are my opinions. There is no perfect way or perfect answer for these types of situations. We're very individualized based on our goals, and there's more than one way to get somewhere, and these are just my thoughts on how I see things. Thank you and have a good day.